everyone, and welcome along to episode 6 of the Traxion My Team Career Mode on F1 2020. My name is Alex Gillon, and today we've got my home Grand Prix. It is the British Grand Prix at Silverstone, and we have got some heavy rain forecast for the race, so hopefully we can have a good result today. But I won't get into the previous results just yet, because you should have watched the previous episodes because they're really good. Go and watch them right now before I spoil it. Here they are then. We've won 4 races in a row. 4 races in a row. We've still only got the 6th fastest car now, and we've won 4 out of 5 races in this 10 race season. Unbelievable. I don't think that will carry on today. I say this at the end of every episode, but I honestly do not think it will, because I'm not that great at Silverstone for some reason. It just doesn't go well with my style. And the AI are pretty good at Silverstone. AI are also pretty good in the wet. Everything's stacking up against us today. I think this is going to be a race to fight for some points, not the win. But as I said, I've said that in just about every video. So the standings wise then, so you can see there, we're on 113 points. Hamilton's only on 61 points. That makes us 52 points in the lead. We could score no points in the next 2 races and still be in the lead of the championship. So as I said, it's about maximising the amount of points. I wasn't even thinking about the championship this season, but now we're in this position, I'm starting to think, maybe I can. We're past the halfway point now. We've had 5 races. We've got 5 more to go. And the constructors wise, we are leading that at the moment, but Mercedes are only 2 points back. Mick Schumacher's not scored a single point because we've been massively out driving the car. We should be back with him, not up where we have been. So not much doing the constructors realistically, although we are leading it at the moment, but I'm expecting to lose that very, very soon. As for car performance then, on the left hand side there we have got the performance from the previous race. On the right hand side there we have got the performance just before this race. So you can see we had 2 updates applied to the car. We had a minor front downforce update, which is the bottom left blue one there. We also had a minor weight reduction update, which is the top right green one there. Those were both completed successfully, and we also bought a major engine power update, which is the half-filled one, purple one you can see on the left there. That will hopefully, provided it doesn't fail, be on the car ready for the next race. Where does that put us then? Well, we have made a little bit of progress, still though in 6th place. We haven't actually moved up in terms of the field, but we made a bit of progress on Mercedes, so we should have a car that's closer to the Mercedes, although still a fair chunk away. We are still clear of that little tight pack just in behind us, still just behind AlphaTauri though, so nothing much really changed, but hopefully with the next race, with that major, provided it completes, update, we'll be in a better position in terms of relative performance. And there is your forecast then. Completely sunny, nice, dry qualifying, and then a full wet, heavy race. So it should be on full wet tyres with heavy rain. That's Britain for you, right? So anyway, guys, let's get into quali. Here we go then into qualifying around the Silverstone Circuit. As I said, nice blue sky there for us. We have actually gone for a wet weather setup. We've got much higher wings than we would otherwise run, so it is going to compromise us in quali. But hopefully it pays off in the race. I'll show you the full setup just at the start of the race when we go on board with live Alex. But for now, look at the live position. The top left, you can see we're just tumbling down even in this section. This is more me struggling. The 110 AI really kind of doing their business, if you like. Opening DRS now for the run down the straight, and look, we're going to lose. Yeah, I mean, we were sort of 16th next in that corner. We're now 19th, but we didn't even get end up 20th, not quite, but already half a second off Hamilton. Yeah, it is Hamilton at the moment in the lead. Back down to 19th, then look, gaining in the corners, up to 14th, reasonable corner there. And on the exit, back down to P20 already. AI are very good on corner exits and flirting with 19th and 20th, but we're going to end up 20th again. Our wings are far too high, really, for dry qualifying, but I have sacrificed quality and I hope that it will be do me well for the race. Magnussen Beckett's coming up next, nice and flat for Copse, and Magnussen Beckett's up next. I'm not very good at these corners for some reason, never have been, I don't know why. My driving style just doesn't seem to work well for it. A little bit of sliding through there, even with our high wings, and we didn't actually even gain somehow on the AI there, just so quick around this track. 1.1 seconds off the pole time at the moment, so this is not going to be a dream qualifying for us. P20 still coming to the end of the straight, trying to get it all slowed down, using the gears as much as I can, keep just about on track. Still P20 for now. Let's hope we can gain a few more positions in the final couple of corners, or we're going to be right down near the back. We have gained a few, up to P16. Can we hold on to P16, get on the exit out on the power back down to P17? Can we hold on to P17? Yes, we can. P17. That is a stark contrast to the last few races, and their confirmation of our result. We even got out-qualified by our teammate Mick by around about 2.5 tenths, but again, we have got that wet weather setup on, so I expected to sacrifice qualifying, although probably would have hoped for a bit better than 17th, if I'm being honest. It is going to be hard to score points from there, but as I said, wet qualifying, maybe we can get up there, maybe even a podium. Who knows? The AI wouldn't have gone for a wet setup. We have. Let's find out. Let's go aboard now with live Alex. Here we go then, on the grid for a soaking wet British Grand Prix. It is absolutely drenched, but luckily we did go for that wet setup in qualifying. So let's show you that setup now then. 710 wings, that's about 4 or 5 clicks higher than I normally run, so really quite a lot higher, which should help us a lot hopefully in the wet with a nice lot of downforce. We're going to run 100 diff as well, just to help us as much as possible with traction. Other than that, pretty standard stuff. We've lowered the rear suspension anti-roll bar to help with a bit of rear stability, and other than that, it is just pretty standard stuff. Strategy-wise, it's actually saying we need to do a one stop. Can we make it though? Or maybe it's not letting us delete the stop, so I reckon we could maybe do it on one, but realistically it'll be too much of a struggle. Also, it's hard to keep control of the rears, so I expect that'll be 2-1. We will stop. We'll stop midpoint of the race-ish. Fuel-wise, we're going to take out a load of fuel. We're going to take out a lap and a half of fuel, because we should be able to save a lot of fuel. One final thing before we get into the starters race is I want to show you that I am indeed on 110 AI. There was a few doubts in the last video as to whether I was actually on 110, since we are on 4 wins in a row. But I did check it in the last few videos. Genuinely, I did, because I was like, is this right? Am I on 110? I checked, and I definitely was on 110. I realise it's a bad race to show you that since we qualified 17th, but we did sacrifice quali in order to hopefully have a better race. So is this downforce now? Can we have a good start and good race? I'm hoping to have be one of the fastest cars with the downforce we've got on. Trying to have a nice clean start here. Bogging down a little bit if anything. Going on the outside here of Gasly. Can we go in the outside of Ocon? No, we can't. They're getting boxed in a little bit there. Getting swallowed up a little bit even. Being a bit cautious perhaps there. We're still on the outside here though. We got a warning for that. Oh, almost running out of room. Can't really see a lot at the moment. Oh, God. Avoiding action, that was a warning there, and a legal overtake, fair enough. We were off the track when we did that. Come on, where is he? Where is he? There he is. We're still alongside him, but we're going to continue on with that. He was actually avoiding action, so I'm not too worried about any misdemeanors. And actually, I tell you what, already, oh God, that's the second one. One more of those, we get a penalty already. It's because I can't see. We could be on for a penalty in this race. And I tell you what, I'm already quite impressed with the amount of traction we're able to get after the exit the corners compared to the AI. Normally, that's a big struggle point. Still on the outside here of Esteban Ocon. Can we hold him out to dry? There you go. You can see the superior grip that we've got there. Just able to just have better corner speed. There's not really any other way to say that. Just better corner speed. We are going to struggle, of course, in the straights. I can see a little bit now, and now we're slightly out of dirt yet. Just trying to also adapt to this race. As always, the AI immediately adapt because they are, AI. We have to take a little bit of time to adapt to the new conditions. But just now up to P13. A few places gained off the start. Would have liked to have a bit of a better start, but it was certainly an eventful one. We're still in the race though. Still got a perfectly healthy car. Let's hope now we can have some good pace and see if we can get onto the cars ahead. Okay, little sit rep then. Onto lap 4 now. Really struggling with pace actually. I thought I'm not quite used to these conditions yet, but I still thought my pace would be a bit better than this, to be honest. 2.3 seconds back from Ricardo now. We are losing time. Pretty much every set ready though is green. We are finding time every single lap, but we're a few seconds a lap off the Mercedes pace. I don't think we're going to have the car today to be anywhere near the front of the grid. And look at the Mercedes on the mini-map as well, just pulling away. I don't think it's going to happen today. So today it's going to be about maximising the points that we can. Almost went off track there, very close. But P13 at the moment, we need to get some points today. Try and stay in the championship hunt if we can. Okay, another little sit rep on lap 10 now. Coming to the Maggots Beckett section, but we've managed to sort of stop the rot for the cars in front, but not much more. We can't seem to close them down. We're right on the limit of doing so. We do seem to keep going green most sectors, but now the gains have stopped coming so much. See, 10th and a bit up, but we are also losing the fuel, of course. Tyre wear is totally fine. I think this is going to be a big struggle, this race. I think they are just too fast, our car. This is probably where our car should be, to be fair, on actual pace. It's just we've just kind of put ourselves in an unbelievable championship lead, haven't we, for the first 4 races. Or first 5 races, rather, of the season. So I think it's going to be difficult. AI just too good around here. There's too many zones like this one. It's just a traction zone all the way through, and I'm just having to constantly correct the car and be so careful. But let's see if we can get the cars ahead, and if someone in front of them retires, maybe. This is another section that's really difficult for me, but AI could just breeze through. I have to be so cautious. But if a car retires and we can get both cars ahead, we'll then be in the points. But that's all we can really hope for at this stage of the race. Difficult. Okay, we're going to box this lap. We're going to go 1 lap early. Hope that's not the lap my teammate planned to box. But we're going to go 1 lap early, try and get an undercut just to try and make something happen in this race, really, because at the moment it's a pretty lonely one. Not much is happening. Just doing everything I can to try and catch the cars ahead, but the pace is so similar. I think even if I do catch them, as soon as I hit the dirty air, I think that's going to stop me, just because I can maybe catch them by a 10th or 2 a lap with a very, very good lap from me. So it's going to be tricky. So we're going to box this lap, and we're going to hope for the best. Get a bit of an undercut on them, perhaps. But again, the tyres aren't massively worn. If we get a bit of travel from that, then we could be in real trouble. But I think it's worth trying something here. We're outside the points anyway. championship leader at the moment. Don't forget, it's all about points, not about positions outside of the points. That won't matter come the end of the season, almost certainly. So P13 is not going to be nothing. So we're just going to box this lap, hope for the best. Looks like no one else is boxing, so we'll be coming in earlier than any other driver. Just hoping for the best. I don't actually know where to brake here. This pit entry. I'm going to guess it's sort of there. That's far too early. Definitely lost a bit of time there on that pit entry, but let's be safe and sorry. You see a bit of wear on the rear, but still, to be honest, only just starting to lose grip, and that's because I wasn't very good. I was trying to hustle the car with the rears. So the AI will be on probably 30-25% all round. I don't know if this undercut will work, but hey, we're going to try it. We're going to try it. We're trying something, as I said. There is a massive gaggle of cars here coming around the final section. Let's hope they're all gone by the time we finish our stop. You'd think they would be. Ready for this pit stop. Hopefully a half decent stop from the boys. There you go, 2.3 seconds. And we are going to be right at the back of the field, which is a good thing, because hopefully now we can push and hopefully see if we can be just at least nearer the cars in front, just to make something happen. Here we go then. Cars are racing on the pit lane exit now. I think they're going to be clear from us, but let's have a look. Oh, messed up my gears a little bit there, but yeah, they are indeed still quite comfortably clear from us. So as I sort of thought, that undercut didn't really work. Their tyres were still in good enough condition. They had a good enough pace. We didn't go much quicker, really. 2.7 gap it is then. 2.5. That'll probably stay around there, I'd have thought. 2.5 second gap now to the cars there. Let's just hope now we don't get overcut by the Renault that's behind us. He was not far behind us. He'll probably be boxing this lap. Could try for one stop, by the way, but I just feel like that wouldn't have worked. I do feel like it really would not have worked. Because I think our tyres have been so dead at the end. We'd have been crawling around. Honestly, probably 2 seconds a lap off this pace, because we're already quite marginal on grip. So take some more of that grip away from me, and I'm really struggling. So I do think it was the right option to box. You know, we would have had a half a chance at the points if we didn't, but I just honestly think we'd have ended up even lower in position. So let's see what happens now though with this Renault coming out, hopefully boxing this lap. Should be boxing this lap as well as our teammate. See if we can hopefully come out ahead of him. Now see if we can start getting on the cars ahead as well. Okay, here we go then. We went 3/10 faster than our best there, so clearly these new tyres are already providing some sort of benefit. And oh god, a bit wide there, but comfortably ahead of Ocon. So the undercut did work. Perhaps we could have tried it a bit earlier, but again, honestly, I don't know if I've got the pace. Although I will say, everyone's a bit closer to us now. People that box a bit later, we all collectively undercut them. So if they start battling ahead, or perhaps one of them retires, or we get a safety car, we could be right on them. We've still got 3 seconds to find, which is going to be quite the task, but I'm going to push just to see if I can make something happen in this race. Come on, make something happen. Give us some points. Hamilton, by the way, is in the 37s. But they're still around about 2 seconds a lap faster than us. Yeah, just haven't got the pace, they haven't got the car. I think they are pretty good around this track in the dry conditions. Add wet into that as well. I think they're just very much fighting an uphill battle here, but hey, let's see what happens. One thing I have just noticed, cars have stayed out. Both Red Bulls, both racing points, they've stayed out. So clearly it was a viable strategy, but this will be interesting. They were sort of there in that, they were sort of in 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th anyway. They're probably going to get overtaken by the Mercedes, but let's see. And then after that, how much more time will they drop coming towards the end of this race? I will say, obviously, AI will have better tyre wear than me in the weather, in the conditions. They are obviously inherently are traction control. They're going to be much better rears than us. We'd be a lot worse off than they would have been, but it'll still be interesting to watch towards the end of this race, see where they get to. Okay, another little sit rep then. Look at the minimap, you will notice the Mercedes are still behind the racing point and have been for a few laps. So clearly overtaking very difficult at Silverstone in these wet conditions. No DRS, of course, for the AI to use against each other. And I tell you what, remember, it's Hamilton that we're really up against. The Mercedes are the one with the OP car. Maybe we can beat the other people. I don't think we can beat Hamilton this season, but if he gets held up here and he only ends up with 5th place. Oh, I tell you what, one of the Mercedes has now just got past though. Let's have a look who it is. I assume it is Hamilton leading the Mercedes teams. It is indeed. So Hamilton's now up to 4th. But it took a while to get past Perez there. If he's not on the podium, that's going to help us a lot in the championship. I was assuming I was going to lose 25 points today, but maybe not. That is the difficulty of the 2-stop versus the 1-stop. Highlights that perhaps I should have stayed out, and honestly, maybe with hindsight I would have done. However, I don't think it would have worked. I still don't. The AI are just too good. Remember, they are traction control inherently. I am not. That is how they're able to make it work. I still believe this is probably the right strategy, but yeah, again, with hindsight, considering I'm just slower than the cars ahead and not able to do anything, I probably would have stayed out, but it is what it is. But let's just hope for now then that Hamilton can stay in front of everyone else, and I suspect when I'll skip forward to the end of the race, There's not a lot that's happening here, really, unless we get a safety car or something wild happens. Final couple of corners then. We are going to finish about where we should do, to be honest, with the 6th best car, P13. And around about 5 seconds ahead of our teammate, 110 AI. So to beat your teammate is about what you should be aiming for. But obviously with the last 4 wins in a row, very disappointing to go for a 4th, 4 wins in a row and 13th place. But there was nothing I could do today. Normally I struggle against 110 AI at Silverstone at the best of times. So adding some rain, adding only the 6th best car was always an uphill struggle. But there you go, 36.6 in the end. That is around about 2 seconds quicker. I did push for not the fastest lap, obviously. I was never going to get that, but I did push to have the best lap I possibly could, but still 2 seconds lap off the pace. And honestly, I was well used to the car by the end of that. I will say, Max Verstappen won the race on a 0 stop. So he did keep Lewis Hamilton down to P2. He only got 19 points instead of the full 26 that he could have done. So that could be crucial. 7-point swing, that could be crucial towards the end of the season. Let's have a look now then at the standings. We do still lead the standings, but only by 33 points now. That has gone down considerably, and now it is a lot more difficult. We need some points today, really, just to keep it ticking over. But it was meant to be constructors as well, down to P2. I'm surprised we're not in P3, actually. Red Bull got a 1st and a 3rd, but only 1 point behind them. Now, we're going to now fall back, I would have thought, behind Racing Point easily. Maybe we can keep Ferrari at bay, maybe, but we can't keep finishing 13th. That was race 6 in the season. We've got 4 more to go. So fingers crossed then we can have a good last few races of the season. But do subscribe if you haven't already, because hopefully the next few races will be a bit better than that. That was by far the worst race of the season, so apologies if this was the first video you watched, but you should definitely go back and watch the previous ones because they were absolute bangers. So fingers crossed we do a better job next time out and actually get some points. But anyway, for now, keep it pinned, and I'll catch you next time. Bye-bye.